Right now, somewhere in Britain, a £10 note is changing hands. It looks like nothing. A thin sheet of plastic, smaller than your phone. You've held 1,000 of them and never looked twice. But this one has been on a journey. It has passed through more hands than you'll shake in a lifetime. It has been in a wedding card and a charity tin, a child's birthday and a getaway driver's glove box. And it has no idea, because the strangest thing about money isn't what it buys, it's that it works at all. So let's do something nobody ever does. Let's follow one note, just one. From the day it's born, through every pocket and till and piggy bank, all the way to the day it dies. By the end, you'll never look at the change in your hand the same way again. Our note begins life not in a bank, but in a factory most people have never heard of, behind fences you can't photograph. This is where Britain prints its money. It doesn't start as paper. Modern notes are polymer, a kind of thin, tough plastic. It arrives as enormous clear rolls, and over them, layer by layer, the note is built. The colors, the portrait, a see-through window you can hold to the light. Tiny raised dots you can feel with a fingertip, put there so people who can't see the note can still know its worth. Then come the defenses. Because a banknote is, in a way, a promise being constantly attacked. Every note carries secret ink that only glows under special light. Patterns so fine no home printer could ever copy them. And a serial number, a name really, that belongs to our note and no other note on earth. When it's finished, it's cut from its brothers and sisters, stacked, sealed, and loaded into armored vans. It has never been spent. It is worth £10 and has bought absolutely nothing. Not yet. Our note's first real home is a cash machine. It waits in the dark of the dispenser with thousands of others, and then one ordinary Tuesday, a hand presses a button, a motor whirs, and our note is pushed out into the daylight for the very first time. It is spent within the hour. A coffee. The barista drops it in the till, and just like that, our note is alive. Part of the bloodstream of the whole country. Here's the part nobody tells you. That note will not sit still. Money is restless. Economists even have a word for how fast it moves from hand to hand. They call it velocity. A single note might be spent dozens of times in a single month, each time completing a tiny act of trust between two strangers who will never meet again. Think about what just happened in that cafe. A stranger handed a piece of plastic to another stranger and walked away with a hot drink. And both of them were completely certain it would work. No king signed it. No god enforced it. They simply both believed. That belief is the engine. That belief is the whole trick. From the cafe, our note begins to travel. And this is where its life gets wonderfully strange. It goes into a tip jar, then into a waiter's wallet, then to a corner shop for a lottery ticket. It rides in a bus driver's float and a market trader's bum bag. It's folded into a birthday card by a grandmother who licks her thumb to count it. It's the deposit on a sofa, the tooth fairy's gift under a pillow, the last tenner in a student's account at the end of term. It witnesses things in its quiet way. It's there for a first date and a last goodbye. It's pressed, damp, into a charity bucket in the rain. It sits forgotten in a coat pocket all winter and is found again like treasure in spring. And all the while it is carrying something invisible. Not germs, though, yes, plenty of those. It's carrying history. Every note in your pocket has a past you will never know. The hands it has held, the moments it has been part of. You are, right now, holding an object that has lived more of Britain than you ever will. Nothing lasts forever, not even plastic. A polymer note is tough. It survives the washing machine, a spilled pint, a toddler's determined chewing. That's exactly why we switched to plastic. The old paper notes wore out in a year or two. Ours can last around 5. But slowly, the journey leaves its marks. A soft crease becomes a split. A corner tears. The shine dulls. Ink fades where 1,000 thumbs have rubbed. And then one day, at a bank, a cashier looks at our tired old note and quietly sets it aside. Not to be spent again, but to be sent home. Back along the same armored roads it traveled as a newborn, back to the Bank of England, where every worn-out note in the country eventually returns to be counted, checked, and retired. This is the part that feels almost gentle. The note that touched 100 lives is gathered up with millions of others at the end of their journeys and taken to be unmade. For a long time, worn-out notes met the same end. They were shredded, and the scraps were burned or buried. A note's whole life gone to ash. But our note is plastic, and plastic can become something else. Today, retired polymer notes are shredded into tiny flakes, melted down, and reborn. Plant pots, storage crates, garden furniture. There's a real chance that a bench you've sat on, somewhere, used to be money. So our note doesn't truly vanish. It is taken apart so that something new can be made. And somewhere that very same Tuesday, in a printing hall behind a fence you can't photograph, a fresh sheet of clear polymer is rolling through the machines. A new note is being born, and the whole story begins again. Here's what I can't stop thinking about. That note was never really worth £10. It's a sliver of plastic that costs pennies to make. It was worth £10 for exactly one reason. Because all of us, 60-odd million strangers, quietly agreed that it was. That's all money is. Not the gold in a vault, not the plastic in your pocket. It's a promise we keep choosing to believe, passed from hand to hand, millions of times a second, holding an entire country together. And almost nobody ever notices. So the next time a tenner lands in your hand, soft at the corners, a little tired, hold it a second longer than you normally would. You're not holding £10. You're holding a traveler, and you have absolutely no idea where it's been.